Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to Boston. Welcome to Fenway. Welcome to Massachusetts. For those of you who've traveled, thank you so much, Lisa. Lisa has been such a leader in this space, both in her capacity now as CEO of Grid, but before that at Massport. And I just really appreciate, Lisa, your incredible partnership and your vision and your belief that is shared in this room, that we have the opportunity here in Massachusetts to do something on climate, to innovate in a way that is really, really exciting, and we're just going to keep leaning into that. So thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's a thrill to be able to welcome you back to ClimaTech. ClimaTech 2025. Who was here last year? Oh, that's great, because that means a bunch of you are new. So welcome. This is the second annual ClimaTech event. This is our convening about not just the future of innovation, about innovation that's happening right now in our state and that's possible around this country and around this world. This is about the future of jobs and prosperity. It's about the future of our planet. And I want to thank all of the innovators, the scientists, the engineers, the entrepreneurs, the founders who are in this room today. I want to thank the venture capital investors, our CEOs, our university presidents who are here as well, leaders in the public and nonprofit sectors, including our own in government, Secretary of Energy and Environmental Affairs, Rebecca Tepper, Acting Secretary of Economic Development, Ashley Stolba, and CEO Emily Reichert from the Massachusetts Clean Energy Center. Thank you and your teams for everything that you do for all of us. So I listed a lot of people there in a lot of categories, and that reflects this whole ecosystem. You know, it's an ecosystem where everybody's got a really important role to play, and it's an ecosystem that is broad and deep. And it's an ecosystem that really is the heart of the ClimaTech revolution. And it's a community that makes Massachusetts really special. You know, 250 years ago, this spring, ordinary men and women in our state did something extraordinary. They launched the American Revolution and the birth of this great country. And in every generation since then, people of this state and from this state have worked and studied and innovated and organized. It's deep in our DNA here in Massachusetts. It's a legacy of democracy, a culture of discovery, a passion for problem solving. Today, Massachusetts is ranked #1 for education, innovation, and healthcare. We have the safest drinking water in the country. We have the most educated workforce in the United States. We're also ranked the best state to have a baby, to raise a family, to live if you're a woman. In addition, we're #1 for venture capital investment per capita. I love that. And we're #1 for ClimaTech startups per capita, thanks to so many of you in the room. That's great. Thank you. So it's on the strength of this leadership, the strength of this ecosystem, that I can stand before you as governor of Massachusetts to say, I and our administration, we are all in on this work. Here's how we're going to do it. You know, a year ago at ClimaTech 2024, we were talking about this economic development legislation we had in the works. We were calling it the Mass Leads Act. And it included a groundbreaking ClimaTech initiative, a ClimaTech investment, where we said as a state, you know what, we're going to lean into ClimaTech in the same way we've leaned into life sciences and made Massachusetts the global hub. We're going to do that when it comes to climate technology and climate innovation. And that saw its way through into what became a law, and now this newest revolution is underway here in Massachusetts. That was signed by me last November. By February, Mass CEC had released a 10-year plan for ClimaTech strategy and implementation. And all across the state, from the Berkshires to Cape Cod, we've begun investing in startups and the companies that drive the ClimaTech innovation. Accelerating the workforce, really leaning into how we can align what's happening K-12, what's happening in our community colleges, what's happening in our state colleges and universities with the kinds of jobs and workforce needs that we need to grow in this space. Connecting the ClimaTech ecosystem to state supports and to global markets. Over time, these investments will create transformative economic opportunity across Massachusetts. We'll support 1,500 companies, we'll create 35,000 jobs, we'll train 25,000 folks, and we will attract direct investment totaling 7 times the amount that we invest in the state. The ROI for us is big here, 7 to 1. Ultimately, we, and we means all of us, all of you, will produce the technology that unlocks a thriving and healthy economy for our state, our country, and our world. Now, I've had the privilege of being able to see this up close. Already, I've been visiting some of the labs, the startups, the companies that we're investing in. Back in October, I was out at Factorial Energy in Methuen. I don't know if anybody's here from Factorial, but they're developing a solid-state battery that will make electric vehicles cheaper and more convenient. You may have seen their write-up in the New York Times as they test their latest prototype with a Mercedes-Benz in Germany. In New Bedford, Fleet Robotics is deploying underwater robots. These robots are there to clean ships and reduce maritime emissions. In Holyoke, out west, Clean Crop Technologies is using innovative methods to keep food fresher for longer and cut waste across the food supply chain. And in Worcester, where I was yesterday, the Greendale Neighborhood Revitalization Project includes a 51-acre green tech manufacturing campus with the potential to host dozens of new and growing businesses. The possibilities are limitless, and our job, in many ways, is simply to remove the barriers. So we've been doing that. We cut taxes for the first time in 20 years, and now we're in the process of streamlining business regulations. To get more energy into Massachusetts and cleaner energy, we passed last year a siting and permitting law that cuts red tape and speeds up our ability to electrify the economy. I want to thank those in this room who worked with us on that. That's really important. You hear a lot of governors talk about, the things that they want to do in AI and the power needs that we have and, the need for decarbonization, the need for electrification, all true. But we're not going to get there unless we actually do the sometimes unsexy work of building out the grid, the infrastructure that we need. And I knew, and our team knew, that to do that, we needed to make changes. And in very quick order, I've never seen something work as quickly. We organized stakeholders and we had consensus around things that we needed to do to make this work at the local state level in communities to reform siting and permitting practices. And again, unsexy work, but that is what is going to speed economic development in this state as well. So I'm glad you clapped. Yesterday I filed an energy affordability bill, and I want to thank the team for their work on that. It's going to save ratepayers $10 billion over the next several years and remove barriers to cutting-edge technologies, including nuclear. We need to embrace nuclear as an option here in Massachusetts. And we're also establishing and expanding innovation career pathways to high schools statewide. What am I talking about? I'm talking about your kid in high school today. You can be in classes today in high schools across Massachusetts where you are studying and learning jobs in the clean energy space, a range of jobs in the clean energy space. We're also having an AI hub that's bringing the power of cutting-edge AI to every industry. As somebody who wants to lead when it comes to applied AI, I think about using AI to more quickly cure diseases and identify treatments. I also think about using AI to more quickly identify where and how we're going to bring about more resilience in our communities, in our infrastructure, and the like. We are building right here in Massachusetts, the infrastructure to be America and the world's climate tech champion. And that also means, by the way, whatever is happening at the federal level, our progress, our investments, our commitment will continue. Will continue. We have to do that. And this is why we host ClimaTech every year and why we're going to continue to invest in climate technology. We know there's competition out there. We know what other countries are doing. And we know what we need to do here in Massachusetts. We mean business. We're in it to win it. We're in it for the long haul. I'll close with this. I know we live in a time of uncertainty. I know we experience interruptions in the deployment of capital, interruptions in investment. A lot of people are uncertain right now. Had a lot of conversations because I've never viewed my competition with other states. I view Massachusetts' competition with other countries. We've had a lot of conversations about this. It's very important that you stay the course. We will stay the course here. It is the right thing to do. It is the smart thing to do. It is the economic imperative for our country to do. If you want American energy independence, that starts right here. It's with the work that you all do. So I want you to have faith. I want you to continue. I don't want you to take your foot off the pedal when it comes to this. Know that we are all in, and we're going to continue to be all in, and there are a whole lot of people who stand to benefit from it. So enjoy the rest of the conference. I know shortly you're going to hear from our fabulous Lieutenant Governor, Kim Driscoll, but really appreciate everybody being out today, and have a wonderful, wonderful conference.